Times are good for stealth fans right now, what with Sam Fisher leaping out of the shadows in Splinter Cell, and now his greatest rival David Jones returning to duty in IGI 2 Covert Strike. After his stunning success in the previous game, our Jonesy has returned to the Institute of Geotactical Intelligence for yet another anti-terrorism adventure. But this time it won't be so easy. The enemy has had its brain box replaced with improved artificial intelligence, which allows squads to use teamwork and surveillance against you in a scarily realistic manner. The story-driven single-player campaign follows on directly from the previous game, consisting of 19 missions. These sprawl across real-world locations spanning 3 continents. Missions come in a variety of formats, from covert surveillance through thefts and escapes to all-out base assaults. But even here, if you set off an alarm, you'll be up to your neck in paramilitary goons before you can say, "Who hell he?" Mr. Jones is obviously so highly trained that he can get the job done with only a handful of devices, including thermal imaging, digital binoculars, and a portable map computer showing real-time satellite data. You can rest assured that there's plenty of multiplayer support in here, with a neat selection of maps, advanced team play options, and a whole new resource system that allows you to buy your way back into the rounds. Not willing to let Splinter Cell dominate the market for highly capable and resourceful lone operatives deep inside enemy territory and facing overwhelming odds, IGI 2 presents a strong contender for this battle in the shadows.
We'll see you in about 2 weeks.
For many developers, the holy grail of game creation is to construct a living, breathing world that responds and adjusts dynamically to the player's choices and actions.
You and Admiral Schultzky. Dono, be advised, we're picking up unknown contacts.
Freelancer promises to deliver such a universe, allowing you to do what you want, when you want, and to whom you want.
You do not interfere. We're here to protect the president. Schultzky is a traitor.
Red alert. The Dono is hit. Launch all rescue.
Like the ancient classic Elite, Freelancer offers you total freedom to explore its 48 star systems, each of which belongs to one of several feuding empires. Whether you're motivated by greed, compassion, or anger, there's something here for you.
Newark, we need reinforcements.
Confirmed, Gamma 6.
You can forge any career you like: bounty hunter, smuggler, trader, pirate, naval hero, ruthless space thug. It's your choice.
Trent, we can't let them get away.
The mouse and keyboard-based combat interface is easy to get to grips with, allowing you to get stuck into the frantic dogfighting right from the off, while the extensive trading system provides a dynamic and challenging environment in which to make your fortune. But remember, every decision, every action, every success and every failure affects your reputation and changes the world around you. Nothing comes without a price, and no good deed will go unpunished.
Area is secure. That was the last one, Newark.
However, if the vast, open-ended nature of Freelancer sounds a touch too daunting, never fear. There's also an intriguing narrative you can dip in and out of as you feel fit, which takes you on an epic, star-shattering adventure across the galaxy.
One down, one to go.
Find Pittsburgh to be remarkably unexciting, Trent.
And the fun doesn't stop there, as there's even the option to take the game online. Over the net, you can set up your own persistent world servers and play both cooperatively and competitively with other aspiring space aces from around the globe.
Oh my god.
Elite's legion of fans have been clamoring for a true next-gen follow-up for decades, and that's exactly what Freelancer promises to deliver. The only question remaining is, can it deliver? With release set for mid-April, we'll find out soon enough.
Hotel 6, this is Spike 1.
1, this is 6. What's the sitrep? Over.
Hotel 6, this is Spike 1. We've just had another contact. Unknown amount of enemy. Seems like sun. Spike, this area is hotter than we thought. Over.
It's 1967, Vietnam, and the A216 team, 5th Special Forces Group, is deploying into the thick, oppressive heat of the native jungles. This is the beginning of Viet Cong's evocative storyline, which unravels to dramatically capture the danger, fear and unpredictability of the war itself. Leading a team of 6 expertly trained US soldiers, you must issue instructions to your comrades as you battle through 20 dramatic missions.
This is one of our own M26 fragmentation grenades on the tripwire.
Members of your team will assess each situation based on the fundamental rules of behavior for such an elite unit. Soldiers know how to act, how to protect themselves and how to fight, but even so, their personalities are distinct enough to cause each of them to react in their own personal manner. Much of your job will be to choose the right man for each challenge ahead. With more than 20 weapons available, including M16s, grenade launchers and sniper rifles, you can look forward to some lead-spitting fun. You'll also get to play with at least a dozen lethal jungle traps and a variety of land, sea and air vehicles with which to negotiate the hazardous terrain.
Friggin' gooks!
Communicating via crackling radios, you'll be able to keep up on vital intel, call in airstrikes or request evacuations when you accidentally land in a hotspot. Just make sure they can get to you before the Viet Cong do. Multiplayer allows you to take either side in this brutal war, playing as either the highly trained US Special Forces or the cunning and lethal Viet Cong. The action is set over a range of intricate maps, which all offer a unique multiplayer experience. Packed full of tense exploration, exciting bursts of combat, and some truly gorgeous scenery, Viet Cong looks set to make this ugly war surprisingly attractive.
No!
game has not yet been rated. Men stood at the border of a new world. Men gave their lives and became the heroes of our history. In God they trusted, but it was for justice that they fought. Once there was a time of power and glory, when peace was as precious as gold. But the force of destiny came over the land. From north to south, and from east to west. The human race of discovery. The taste of lead and blood. For everyone.
Following the phenomenal success of Battlefield 1942, an add-on pack was almost inevitable, and sure enough, here it is. Entitled The Road to Rome, it essentially offers more of the same World War II antics, only now with added Italians. The expansion's best feature is its excellent set of 6 new maps that recreate various areas of Sicily and mainland Italy. Each map has been carefully designed with numerous choke points, such as bridges and narrow winding paths, leading to tighter and more focused battles, something often lacking in the original game. Unfortunately, the Road to Rome goes downhill from there. The 8 new vehicles are all just new variants on units already available, while the 3 new weapons, which consist of a grenade rifle, Sten, SMG and bayonet, are fun but hardly revolutionary. And as for the Italians and the French Legionnaires, which are the 2 new playable forces, well, they both display a disappointing lack of imagination in their ranks. Superb maps aside, the Road to Rome feels more like a 20 quid mod than a genuine add-on. But if you're addicted to Battlefield 1942, then it's a must-have. After all, you've got to keep up with everyone else online, haven't you?
Hanno preso il controllo di un avamposto! Stiamo subendo delle perdite.
In the modern world, great leaders resolve their conflicts with words. Death Launcher.
And so, the Command & Conquer vs Warcraft saga rages on. But with Warcraft 3 currently ruling the RTS roost, it's down to Command & Conquer generals to wrestle the crown back. Electronic Arts has been making some big claims for CNC generals. And while there's no denying that the visuals are truly breathtaking, the big question remains: is there a great game lurking behind all that gloss and glitz?
On your command, Humphrey here.
This is the 5th game in the CNC series, and this time around, the plot centers around a contemporary, ripped from tomorrow's headlines conflict between the USA, China, and the terrorist Global Liberation Army. Each of these factions has its own campaign as well as a unique roster of units and generals. Each campaign has its own special flavor. The Americans specialize in reconnaissance. They have access to radars from the word go and gain specialist units that improve their information gathering prowess. The Chinese, on the other hand, have no problems with manpower. They mass-produce powerful units and utilize propaganda to keep them fighting fit. Most challenging of all, though, is the GLA, which have low resource requirements and the ability to gain strength from fallen enemies. Arguably, the game's biggest innovation is the eponymous generals. Each general offers special bonuses or unique unit upgrades, such as elevating all your jeeps to veteran status or giving you access to the devastating US air bomb.
A nuclear missile has been launched.
Before each mission, it's down to you to select who'll lead your forces into battle, and your choice could mean the difference between victory and defeat.
Always prepared.
While CNC Generals may not be as innovative as Warcraft 3, it's still a polished, tactically demanding RTS that offers far more than just flashy visuals. However, low speccers be warned, you need a 2 GHz Pentium with a GeForce 4 card to make the most of it. The Silent Hill series has made a big impression on the console market, but has this atmospheric survival horror showpiece managed to survive the move to PC without losing any of its impact? Silent Hill 2 Director's Cut is pretty much a direct port from the original, with the addition of a bonus stage featuring the exploits of Maria, the feisty love interest from the main story. Sadly, the conversion has brought a lot of the console baggage with it, such as a linear plot, reams of key-hunting puzzles, and worst of all, textures that haven't been ramped up for the PC's higher resolution display. While the original graphics look very impressive on the consoles, no effort has been made to improve them in this version. This leaves the whole presentation looking just a little bit coarse around the edges. Happily, what we do get is the unusually mature storyline and disturbingly compelling atmosphere. The tale begins with James Sutherland receiving a message from his wife asking him to meet her in the town of Silent Hill, which is strange considering the woman died 3 years earlier. From here on, things just get more eerie as James enters the fog-shrouded town, only to face a host of grossly disfigured mutants and 1 or 2 mysterious survivors, each of whom has their own story to tell. The main game lasts about 15 hours, so long as you keep up the pace, but there are multiple endings to encourage replay value. You also get the Director's Cut bonus feature, telling Maria's story, which provides more missing pieces to complete the mystery. While Silent Hill 2 may have its shortcomings, it still evokes a sick fascination that draws you into its deeply unsettling imagery. In this way, the superb story and atmosphere easily make up for its more fundamental failings. If you think racing sims should be all about sleek chassis, screeching tyres and high-speed pile-ups, then chances are big-scale racing will not be for you. A simulation of dinky 1/5 scale radio-controlled model vehicles, the emphasis is more on precision control than raw speed. The game offers 10 different vehicle classes to progress through, each more challenging than the last. The early levels are pathetically easy, with cars gliding around the corners as if on rails, even at full tilt. However, the later levels offer a far greater challenge in terms of both control finesse and rival competitiveness. There are 6 tracks to race on, but as you can see, the visuals aren't going to give graphic junkies cold sweats. That said, the water effects on the rain-soaked roads are well handled. Big-scale racing isn't going to set the world alight, but nonetheless it's a surprisingly entertaining racing game that offers a challenge to drivers of all abilities. The Scots are notorious for their turbulent and bloody history. Over the centuries, they fought off the Vikings and the English, and then, when they couldn't find anyone else to fight, they fought amongst themselves. Highland Warriors offers gamers the chance to immerse themselves in this violent world of ginger-bearded men and wild roaming haggises. As leader of one of the 3 Scottish clans, or even the English, it's your sworn duty to guide your people through 4 campaigns and 30 missions to victory. While the gameplay is generally pretty traditional RTS fodder, there are a few innovations, such as the need to contend with the changing seasons. Although life is easy in spring and summer, expect things to get a lot tougher when you enter the winter months. There's a variety of troop types, each with their own special abilities. Unfortunately, however, none of them are particularly bright, and you can often come unstuck as they fumble around obstacles or break formation when trouble kicks off. All in all, Highland Warriors isn't a bad RTS, and the story, which neatly weaves the fates of the clans and the English together, is entertaining. However, the game's flaws are too many to allow us to recommend it wholeheartedly. We have been waiting a long time for Unreal 2: The Awakening. And now it's here, we bet you can't believe the many derisory comments about it circling on the web. Granted, developer Legend has deliberately incorporated many popular scenes and ideas from the last 25 years of science fiction, which may make the concept seem stale and derivative. But besides these cult references, you also get some beautiful 3D graphics, proper 3D sound, and an impressive amount of detail. There's even some decent characterization and a strong storyline, so come and check it out. You play the role of ex-Marine John Dalton, who is now patrolling the galaxy, enforcing law and order as a frontier marshal for the Terran Colonial Authority. He and 3 other crew members of the Starship Atlantis receive a distress call from the planet Sanctuary. But by the time they arrive, the colonists have all been brutally slaughtered by an alien intruder. Yes, it's up to Dalton and the crew to investigate. You might think the story mirrors the opening plot for Aliens, and you wouldn't be far from the mark. In fact, you're bound to recognise more than just a few plots, scenes, aliens and weapons from many popular sci-fi sources. But this is no bad thing. Hey, this is a game after all. The scenery and level design are admittedly excellent, with plenty of variety in the mission styles, and every world bringing an entirely new atmosphere and challenge. Even the cutscenes look good, and the interactive dialogue fleshes out the game's characters without slowing down the pace too much. Our only concern centres around the fact that the game isn't all that long. The main campaign comprises only 13 missions, and there's no multiplayer option to be had. What you do get is the Unreal editor, so the modding communities can get straight to work creating new material, which will definitely extend the life of the game. All in all, Unreal 2 is a beautifully presented game that perhaps relies a bit too heavily on cult references. The level design and game engine, however, are awesome, and the imminent deluge of user-made content could even make up for the lack of multiplayer options. GeForce 3 owners should run to the shops this minute. Tropico 2 Pirate Cove isn't your straightforward sequel. While it sits uncomfortably in the land management sim category, we're pleased to see that the entire engine has been revamped, while new graphics, characters, and a whole new economic system has been introduced to spice things up. The story sees you escaping from a tobacco plantation to become elected as the local Pirate King. A cushy number, you might think, but before you order a year's supply of grog for you and the parrot, there's a few tasks to oversee. It's your responsibility to keep your buccaneers skilled and happy, your boats and weapons maintained, and your skull cave full to the brim with stolen booty. Fail this and you'll be walking the plank, while some other villain takes up residence in the Pirate Palace. When your buccaneers returned with their ill-gotten loot and hapless hostages, it's up to you to put the captives to work, making ships and weapons, as well as providing all manner of life's essentials for your disreputable denizens, such as wine, food, gambling, and of course women. Regular threats and acts of intimidation will keep your hard-working captives from making a break for liberty. If you can keep your population happy, provide them with decent training and equipment while avoiding a captive uprising, you should be able to send out your pirate ships and bring in even more treasure and captives. Once you've got that economy mastered, it's time to take on the Spanish treasure galleons. Not a job for the faint of heart. After last month's glowing review of Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, we thought you might like the opportunity to see even more of Sam Fisher's stylish gymnastics. So some of the other stunning scenes from this awesome sneak 'em up.